Good morning, all. My topic for presentation is Theories of Personality, Psychoanalytical Perspective, Freud and Jung. The search for understanding the meaning and nature of personality would be incomplete if we do not discuss some important theories of personality. These theories, in one way or another, try to describe the basic structure and underlying entities or constructs involved in personality along with the process by which these entities interact. The categories of personality in general can be classified into different categories, that are theories adopting the type approach, theories adopting the trait approach, theories adopting the type cum trait approach, theories adopting the psychoanalytical approach, theories adopting the humanistic approach, and finally theories adopting the learning approach. The psychoanalytical approach to personality was first created and advocated by Sigmund Freud by viewing people as being engaged in a constant struggle to tame their biological urges. He propagated analysis of the psyche or mind by coining many new terms and used psychoanalysis as a method for understanding behavior and for treating mental illness. His school of thought is known as the school of psychoanalysis, and the approach it adopted for understanding human behavior and personality is known as the psychoanalytical approach. The psychoanalytical theories are based on the assumption that personality is to be understood in terms of interactions and conflicts among needs and impulses found in an individual, some of which at least operate at an unconscious level. Now let's discuss about Freud's psychoanalytical theory of personality. His theory has three major parts, that are theory of personality dynamics, theory of personality structure, and theory of psychosexual development. Freud's theory of personality is built on the premise that the mind is topographical and dynamic. There are provinces or divisions which are always moving and interrelated. The human mind has three main divisions, namely the conscious, semi-conscious, and unconscious. The conscious mind is a layer of mind which contains thoughts and perceptions of which we are aware at a given moment. The preconscious mind is a layer stand between conscious and unconscious part of mind and refers to those experiences of which the individual is not fully aware but can be recalled easily. It contains memories and stored knowledge. And the unconscious mind is a deeper layer of mind which contains repressed wishes, fears, selfish needs, unacceptable sexual desires, immoral urges, shameful experiences, and violent motives of which the individual is unaware and it is not able to recall when they wants them. These three levels of human mind are continuously in a state of clash and compromise to give birth to one or the other type of behavioral characteristic resulting in a specific type of personality. Freud also believed that the anatomy of our personality is built around the three unified and interrelating systems, namely id, ego, and superego. Each of these systems has its own properties and mechanisms, but they interact with one another closely, and human personality is the outcome of such an interaction. The id is the raw, savage, and immoral basic stuff of a man's personality that is hidden in deep layers of his unconscious mind. It consists of such ambitions, desires, tendencies, and appetites as are guided by the pleasure seeking principle. It has no values, no laws, follows no rules, does not recognize right or wrong, and considers only the satisfaction of its needs and appetites to be paramount. Obviously, the id cannot be allowed to dominate, and so a second system, the ego, functions as a policeman to check the unlawful activities of the id. It is the executive unit with the power of veto. It follows the principle of reality and acts with intelligence to control, select, and decide what appetites have to be satisfied and in which way they may be satisfied. The third system of personality is the superego. It is the ethical or moral arm of personality. It is idealistic and does not care of realities. Perfection rather than pleasure is its goal. It is a decision making entity which decides what is good or bad to the social norms and therefore acceptable or otherwise. Freud put forward a dynamic concept of personality by conceptualizing the continuous conflict among id, ego, and superego. Since the id and superego are two opposite elements guided by two opposing principles, a warlike situation is created between id, ego, and superego. The extent to which the ego is able to discharge its responsibilities decides the personality makeup of the individual. If the ego is strong enough to maintain a balance between the needs of id and superego, the individual develops a balanced personality. In case of the individual possesses a weak ego, he is bound to have a maladjusted personality. The last one is theory of psychosexual development. So much was his emphasis on sex that he linked the whole development of the personality with the sex behavior by putting his theory of psychosexual development. In this theory, he outlined and five different psychosexual stages for the development of personality, namely oral, anal, phallic, latency, and genital. Next one is the oral stage. It starts from birth to 2 years. At this stage, mouth is erogenous zone. The infant achieves gratification through oral activities such as feeding, sucking, biting, etc. Second one is anal stage. It is 2 years to 3 years. At this stage, sensual pleasure is focused on the anal zone. The child achieves gratification through retention and expulsion of faces and also through anal manipulation. Third one is phallic stage, which is 3 to 5 years. During this period, pleasure is focused on the genital region. At this stage, pleasure is derived through fondling the genital organs. Children become aware of sexuality and they develop sensual feelings towards the parent of his opposite sex. The Oedipus complex is formed in the male child as a result of his sexual desire towards his mother, and an Electra complex is developed in a female child on account of her desire for the father and rejection of mother. Fourth one is latency stage, which is 6 through puberty. It is a dormant period which is marked a temporary repression of sexual interest and pleasure is derived from external world. The last one is genital stage, starts from adolescence and beyond. Here the pleasure is derived from the mature sexual relations with a partner of opposite sex. The progression to the genital stage is impossible only if serious fixation has not occurred at the early stages of development. If such fixation has occurred, then the normal pattern of personality development is blocked and various forms of personality disorders results. Next, we are going to discuss about analytical psychology of Carl Jung. According to analytical psychology proposed by Carl Jung, the personality structure consists of the three elements, which are the conscious ego, the personal unconscious, and the collective unconscious. The conscious ego is the upper layer of mind, which consists of conscious perceptions, memories, thoughts, feelings, etc. We can say that it is the seat of one's ego, which means sense of being or feeling of identity. The personal unconscious is a variety of experiences individuals have in their own social environment constitute the personal unconscious, etc., which deals with some characteristics that are the highly individualistic and personal in nature. It contains all the repressed desires, ideas, feelings, fears, guilt, anxieties, dreams, forgotten incidents, and the other private experiences which might occur in the life of an individual. The collective unconscious is the experience and ideas that are inherited from one's ancestors constitute the collective unconscious. According to Carl Jung, one's collective unconscious contains the experience of the whole race gathered over millions of years, specifically in the form of universal ideas or images called archetypes. Since the entire human race has been the same origin and the common ancestral history, These archetypes held in our conscious are the same. It deals with some important archetypes that are the persona, anima and animus, the shadow, and finally the self. The persona represents the role that society assigns to a person or the part that society expects him to play in life. One has to wear a different mask or play different roles, such as role of the son, role of the husband, role of the father, etc., to cope with the existing social situations. Failure in the learning to play these roles may lead to the personality problems. Anima and animus are the archetypes represents the bisexuality of human species, which include the existence of male and female elements. The feminine archetype in man is called anima and the masculine archetype in woman is called animus. According to Jung, the characteristics of both anima and animus lie within every individual. Man understands the nature of woman by virtue of his anima and the woman understands the nature of man by virtue of her animus. The shadow archetype represents the animal side of man's nature. It consists of the animal instincts which man inherited from lower form of life during the course of evolution. The shadow is comparable to the id of Freud's theory. And finally, the self, according to Jung, is the center of one's personality and the originator as well as balancing force of the individual. It is the integrating force of all other components and archetypes of one's personality.